There is a kind of tiredness that no sleep can reach. It does not come from work. It does not come from long hours. It comes from the weight of always thinking. You carry it quietly, through conversations, through crowds, even in moments of silence. You are the one who notices too much, who feels everything before it has a name. You are always watching, always responding, always adjusting. And somewhere in the middle of all that, you begin to drift, not away from others, but away from yourself. You wake up one morning and everything is in place. The sky is clear, the coffee is warm, but something inside feels far away. You sit in your room at night. The lights are soft. The house is quiet. There is no noise. And still, a question rises, not in words, not in thought, just a faint feeling that something important has gone missing. It is not confusion, not sadness. It is more like a soft ache, like homesickness, but not for a place. You miss the part of you that once knew how to rest. Not the kind of rest that closes your eyes, but the kind that opens your heart. The rest that comes from not needing to be anything at all. And in that quiet space, you begin to hear something. Not a voice, not a sound, but something softer. A whisper. It does not push. It does not beg. It simply asks, "Where did I go?" You used to feel whole. You used to move through the world without chasing it. But now, it feels like you are always catching up. Always trying to keep your thoughts in line. Always reaching for control. We are told this is strength. We are told to manage our thoughts, to sharpen the mind, to always be aware of what comes next. We are rewarded for thinking clearly, for being clever, for staying ahead. But no one asks the one question that matters most. Do I really think my thoughts? At first it sounds silly. Of course I do. They are in my mind. They sound like me. They talk about my life, my past, my hopes and fears. But wait, watch. A thought appears. It says something simple. Maybe I am not good enough. Maybe they do not care. Maybe I am falling behind. And the moment you notice that thought, you realize you did not invite it. It came on its own, like a gust of wind, like a shadow crossing a wall. It used your voice. It wore your memories, but you did not create it. And if you keep watching, you might see something even stranger. You are already outside of it. You are not inside the thought. You are looking at it. The thought is over there, and you are here. There is space between you and what appears in your mind. We are taught there is someone doing the thinking, a small person behind the curtain, a pilot in the mind, a thinker controlling the show. But what if the thinker is just another thought? What if the voice that says, "I," is not the one who sees it all? What if the one who watches is not thinking anything at all? It is not a trick, not an idea to believe. It is something to notice, not later, not after deep meditation, but now, in this moment. Let the thought arise, let it speak, and ask yourself, did I make this, or did it just appear? And as you ask, that you may begin not in the thought, but in the space around it. That space is you, not the one who reacts, not the one who tries to fix it, just the one who knows it is there. Most of us believe there is someone inside, a quiet pilot, a center that chooses every thought. We grow up with this idea that we are the ones thinking, the ones deciding, the ones behind the curtain pulling the strings. But when you begin to watch your thoughts as they arise, something unexpected happens. You start to see they arrive by themselves. You do not summon them. You do not write them. They just appear, one after another, like ripples in water, like weather passing through an open sky. And the more you look, the more you notice the strange truth. Thoughts do not need a thinker. They appear on their own. Even the thought that says, "I am the one thinking," is just another thought, a clever one. A thought pretending to be someone. You see, this is the trick. One thought appears, another follows. Then a third comes in and says, "This is me." And in that moment, a story is born. A character forms, a little self made of sentences. I am this. I feel that. I need to figure it out. But where is this I the thoughts speak of? If you do not rush to answer, if you pause, even for a breath, you will notice something. You cannot find it. There is no object, no solid thing, just more thoughts spinning in loops. The idea of a thinker is built from the thoughts themselves. It is like a wave in the ocean, claiming to be the entire sea. And just like a wave, no thought can hold you, even if it's made of your memories, even if it carries your pain, even if it sounds like your voice. This is not about escaping the mind, not about silencing it, not about controlling every thought. It is about seeing what is actually happening. And what you may find is that there is no one doing the thinking. There is just thinking, a process, a flow, a happening, like wind through the trees, like light falling on the floor. There is no need to fight this, no need to stop the thoughts. They are not the enemy. They are not personal. They are not proof. They are not commandments you must obey. They are just movements, passing forms, shadows of language rising and falling in silence. You do not need to believe them. You do not need to follow every story they tell. You can let them come. Let them move through. Let them go. And something soft begins to shift. The mind does not need to be your master. It can simply be what it is, a tool, a companion, a visitor, not a ruler, not a self. Try this gently. Let a thought arise. Do not push it away. Do not hold it tight. Just notice it. Notice the voice it uses. Notice the words it picks. Does it say I or me? Does it sound like someone is talking? Now ask, did I write this thought? Or did it just appear? Most people discover something surprising here. Thoughts think themselves. They rise. They play out their shape. They disappear. And the more you see this, the more space opens inside you. Not dramatic space. Not the kind you chase in a retreat or a dream. Just a simple quiet. The kind that was always there. It does not speak. It does not argue. It just knows. It sees the thought come. It sees it go. And it stays untouched. This is what changes everything. You are not inside your thoughts. You are the awareness in which they appear and vanish. Not a person watching, but watching itself. Not a thinker, but the quiet seeing behind it all. And once this becomes clear, the grip begins to loosen. You no longer feel like you have to fix your mind. You no longer believe every thought is yours to carry. You begin to rest, not because the thoughts are gone, but because you no longer live inside them. You live in the space where they pass, and that space is free. Let us bring this into something real, not a theory, not a distant idea, but something you have likely felt, maybe many times. You make a mistake. It is small. A missed message, an awkward silence, a word spoken too quickly. And just like that, a thought rises. I always mess things up. Why do I keep doing this? What is wrong with me? Before you know it, the thought becomes a story. The story becomes a feeling. And the feeling becomes a weight on your chest. In the past, maybe you followed it. You believed every word. You let it define you, shape your mood, color the rest of your day. But now, something is different. You pause. You notice. You remember the space between the thought and the one who sees it. And in that moment, you do not fight the thought. You do not drown in it. You simply see it. Like watching a train pass, you hear it, you feel it move, but you do not have to get on. That is the shift. You still feel the sting, but you no longer build your identity around it. You do not become the thought. You just let it come and go. Here is another moment. You are sitting in a park. People pass by. Birds call from the trees. The breeze touches your skin. The world is moving, but something inside you is still. Then a thought appears. Maybe it is old. Maybe it carries pain. Maybe it tries to pull you into the past. But instead of reacting, you simply see it. You do not analyze it. You do not explain it. You just let it float across your mind like a feather through open air. And in that moment, you realize something deep. The mind can speak, but you do not have to answer. The thoughts can dance, but you do not have to follow. You can feel everything without becoming everything you feel. This is not detachment, not indifference. It is the opposite. You become more human, more tender, more alive, because you are no longer tangled in the noise. You stop seeing every emotion as something to fix. You stop treating every fear as a sign that something is wrong. You begin to allow fear, to allow doubt, to allow joy too. All of it moving like weather through the open sky of your being. This is what makes life softer, not because it becomes easy, but because you stop clinging to every thought as if it were truth. You begin to trust something deeper, not a belief, not a system, just the simple act of noticing, the act of remembering you are not the voice in your head. You are the space where the voice speaks. Even when it speaks harshly, you are the stillness that hears it. Even when the storm rises, you are the ground it cannot shake. And from that place, you do not need to run. You do not need to change who you are. You simply return again and again to the quiet seeing, to the gentle knowing, to the awareness that was never lost, only overlooked. That is what freedom feels like. Not escape, but presence. Not perfection, but peace. The kind of peace that holds everything, even the storm. There comes a moment when the need to figure everything out finally begins to quiet. Not because you found all the answers, but because you stopped searching for them in the mind. You see that thoughts will always come. They will rise like waves, fall like leaves, return again and again. But you do not have to hold each one. You do not have to follow their stories. You do not have to fix them or silence them. You just do not have to believe them anymore. Even now, maybe a thought is appearing, trying to judge this message, trying to compare it, trying to turn it into a lesson. That is okay. Let it speak, let it pass, and you stay where you are, in the quiet, knowing behind it all. This is not a technique, not a method, not something you need to master. It is something that is already happening. You are already aware. You are already seeing. You are already here. That is what gets missed, not because it is far away, but because it is too close. So close, the mind cannot grasp it. So quiet it gets covered by noise, but it has never left you. This awareness is not a skill. It is not a state. It is not a belief. It is what has been with you in every moment. through joy, through pain, through silence, through confusion. It is the part of you that does not speak, but always knows. And when you remember that, everything begins to soften. You stop identifying with the voice in your head. You stop confusing thought with truth. You stop trying to be someone because you realize you already are. Not the version your thoughts describe, not the image your past created, but the presence that was always here. You are not the narrator. You are the awareness hearing the story. You are not the tension. You are the stillness it passes through. You are not the one trying to stop the noise. You are the space that never made it loud. And in that space, everything is allowed. The joy, the fear, the wonder, the boredom, the doubt, the lightness. None of it needs to be denied. None of it needs to be perfect. You are no longer chasing silence. You are resting as the place where all sounds are heard. No longer chasing peace. You are the ground beneath every experience. And the thoughts, let them come. Let them speak. Let them swirl. You do not have to fight them. You just do not have to follow. Because now you see something that changes everything. Thoughts happen, but there is no thinker. There is a voice, but no one behind it. There is movement, but no mover. There is awareness, but no center to own it. And you, the one who hears all of this, you were never in the mind to begin with. You are not a self-watching thoughts. You are the watching itself. Not a person doing awareness, just awareness being. This is not a place to get to. It is what remains when you stop chasing. Not a new identity, not a higher self. Just this, right here, right now. The simple fact of being aware. No effort, no struggle, no performance. Just presence, just life. And in the end, that is all you ever needed to remember. You were never what you thought. You were never the thinker. You were always what sees.